Hi everyone and welcome back to SunBurst Tarot, where today we're going to be doing a much anticipated reading, which is a deep dive on Taylor Swift. So I've done a number of readings on Taylor, some on her album, The Tortured Poets Department. I actually called that single with Post Malone, and then I also did a reading on her and her breakups with Matt Healy and Joe Alwyn. And then I've also done some updates on her and her current boo at the time of recording, Travis. But what I wanted to do today was kind of do a little bit of everything, but really what I wanted to do is get a deep dive into who is Taylor Swift at the end of the day. And really, my intention here is I don't expect Taylor to watch my readings. I really don't. However, who I do know who watch my readings are fans of hers, people like me who are interested in a celebrity, but who also has similar things as Taylor is a human. We are human as well. And what I really want to do is have this reading with Taylor and kind of hopefully convey some things that maybe that she has had and she's dealing with and healing from in her life. And really, how are we applying it with how we, as other humans, are kind of going through our life and our journey, and how are we going through things, how are we addressing things, and how aren't we addressing things. And I think there's a lot to learn from seeing Taylor on such a public stage of that she's a human too. She has her own struggles. She has her own things that she's going on. And how can we as an audience connect with her and also heal from potentially similar things that she's had go on in her life and maybe what we have going on in ours. So that's kind of my intention here today with this reading. If that interests you, stick around. Otherwise, you can head her on out. It doesn't matter to me. So, but we're going to be going through Taylor and Travis's relationship. We're going to go through Taylor's career coming up here in the next, for the rest of 2024. I want to see her origin story, as I was actually a really big Taylor Swift fan when she first came out, back in 2008. So yeah, let's kind of go from there. And I'm just grabbing my notes that I made up because I'm like, I want to make sure that everything that I want to hit, I have written down. So the first things I really want to look at is I really want to see Taylor and her family dynamics, with her mom, with her dad, with her brother, and then kind of see where that kind of takes us into shaping her early career and how she got started in the music industry, why the music industry, why did she want to pursue music, and kind of go from there. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, just a quick reminder as I shuffle everything up, I'm going to be using the Druid Tarot deck today. And then remember, everything I'm saying here today is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts here. I'm just reading cards, psychic downloads, and the such. So, if you would like to use this information that I'm sharing to help form your own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions, please do so. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So let's kind of go and see what we can get. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to look at Taylor, her dynamic with her. I just want to look at the family dynamics that she has, current and past. Oh, so that one wants to be on top. So we're going to have her dad. We're going to have her mom. We're going to have her brother. We're going to have Taylor. And this is, so we're actually, so I'm going to try and do a grid of 4 here and a grid of 4 here. And then this will be past and current. And we'll see where we're at. So we have her dad, the 5 of Cups reversed. And this is in the past. So it's like, okay, 5 of Cups. We're going to look at her mom, 7 of Swords. We're going to look at Taylor, and then we're going to look at her brother. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is really interesting. And then let's look at them in the current. Fool for her dad. Her mom is the Seven of Wands. We have Taylor, so the Princess of Pentacles reversed. Then we have her brother. Whoa. Okay. So, making sure everything's on screen. These are also really big cards, and I'm going to just get the camera focused. There we go. Okay, so for Taylor's dad, he has shown up in the past as a Five of Cups reversed. So showing up as a Five of Cups makes me feel that there were disappointments in his life that at the time, and I'm setting the intention here of like early career or like just starting. So like probably 2006, 2007, 2008-ish time frame is the past. So what I'm seeing here is there were some failures that I think happened, and then now we gotta be, okay, so we need to redirect. So I know at this time there was also the big financial crisis or mini recession in 2008, where the housing market just went kablooey. So with the Five of Cups showing up here, I wonder for him, it's like, okay, I know he has a lot of the Swift family had a lot of money. So I don't know if there was a big amount of money that was potentially lost at that time frame, and it's like, okay, this isn't working. I need to redirect where my money is going because we need to redirect where the money is going so we can maintain things afloat. Or we need to we're trying to redo our not just finances, but also we're trying to reallocate where we're putting our time, money, and effort into. Because it's like something that feels like failed him in the past, and then now we're refocusing or redirecting where we're going. In terms of finances, resources, our time, our money, our efforts, like where are we putting our passions behind essentially? So that's what I'm feeling for him. So I'm wondering, we're just doing a giant redirect. With Taylor's mom, we have the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords is typically like, oh, this is a person sneaking away and getting away with something. And this card, it's not. So what Taylor's mom is showing up here as for her Seven of Swords is this is someone who, I don't know if she was the one who did all of the accounting or the book work, or if she was she was one who was making lots of money or balancing the finances at home. Because what this feels like here is this is the pen is mightier than the sword. So she's someone, it feels like, in early Taylor, or before pre-career or pre-musician Taylor, she was the one who was kind of balancing everything. She was the mom that was keeping everything paid. She paid the bills. She managed the household. She did this. She did that. She was very, very good at what she did. And there wasn't a lot of, I think, there wasn't confusion when it came between the parents, it feels like, in this situation. Especially with the Seven of Swords, it's also making me feel that she was the one that might have been like, okay, we're spending too much money here, or things aren't, like, resources in this way aren't coming, or ideas in this way aren't coming. So she's like, I see the writing on the wall. Here's what we could do. I also see her mom as potentially like a great inspiration as a poet, or someone who kind of inspired Taylor to be like, oh, I should write down my stuff, or I'm writing poetry, or I'm writing song lyrics because my mom did it, or my mom does a lot of journaling or writing and like expresses her feelings through words or written word instead of spoken word. So I feel like Taylor and her mom, at least in this point of time, were pretty close, and Taylor's mom was an inspiration for her to kind of go into her writing and doing her songs. Also wonder if maybe some of her mom's poetry or things that her mom wrote ended up kind of being not just inspiration, but making its way into some of Taylor's early music. Okay, so now we're looking at Taylor down here with the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So with Taylor showing up as the Nine of Pentacles reversed, it feels like there's something didn't work out for her in terms of oh, I want to do this. Oh, I think I'm good enough for that. Or I want to try this. And it feels like a little bit of a failure in a sense. So like early pre-career Taylor, something fell apart in some way, shape, or form where, and like, what was it? She was only like 16 when her first album came out. So like I'm expecting to kind of see like something didn't work out. Like things aren't always going to work on the first try, and people aren't always going to be on board with things. So it's like you have like, because the Nine of Pentacles when it's upright is all about like this is a single lady card where you got the material wealth, you got the abundance, you've made like you have like a security in oneself, in what you've created and manifested and done. However, seeing it reversed, it makes me feel like one, there's probably a little bit of not as much confidence as we would like, but you're also 16, so you're going to be a little bit not confident in yourself. I don't know many 16-year-olds who are confident in oneself and everything that they do, because you're learning and we're doing different things and we all have different ideas of what's right, what's wrong, should I do this, should I do that, shouldn't I do this, and like we have a lot of it. Teenagers have insecurities and it just feels like that's kind of here as well. Okay, so not shocked to see this as like Taylor is kind of one, just a little insecure, but also I think there were opportunities or things that she was doing that kind of just fell through. So it's like, okay, I need to redirect. I also think that might have been an inspiration for some of her early music as well, because it's like things didn't work out how I wanted it to. So now I'm going to channel that into song lyrics or writing things down and turning something painful or an experience that I had into something that I can convey through music. So awesome. Okay, looking at her brother, we have, I think his name is Austin, if I'm not mistaken. We have the High Priest reversed, otherwise known as the Hierophant reversed. So I don't know at this time with this family dynamic that they have going on if he was, I don't know if he's younger or older. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it feels like he at this time was kind of like breaking away from the family a little bit. Didn't want to kind of be involved with the parents, didn't want to be involved with Taylor. I don't know if if he was older, if he was going off to college or trying to start his own thing. Or if he was like going through a breakup at this time, but like it definitely feels that with her brother, there's like a breakaway sense of going away from the family or not committing to the family, in this sense, because it makes me feel that it's like, oh, you guys want, it's almost like you should be pushed into the family business, and then the guy is like, okay, I don't want to be a part of the family business, so I'm going to leave, and I'm not going to be a part of the family business anymore. So that's what it's kind of feeling like here. He's like, I'm rejecting the past things, and like, yeah, I'm rejecting what's being put on me, and going off to do my own thing is what this feels like for him in the past. Okay, let's look at the present. So in the present, we have the dad showing up as the Fool reversed. So that's like a pretty serious individual. He takes things, like I take things pretty seriously. I don't know how to take a joke sometimes. Well, let me rephrase that. I know how to take a joke. There's just some things I just don't find funny. Or I just don't. I have a very dry sense of humor, and there's some things I just don't find funny that other people do. So I'm not saying that that's him, but I get it from like the Fool perspective here. This is someone who takes himself very seriously, very strategically minded, always knows where he's going. There's no go with the flow type of planning with him. It's like I have step A, B, C, and D, and there's no deviation from that path. That's his vibe. In the current moment, it's like, I know what's going on, I know the path, there's no deviation from it, there's no go with the flow. There is plan and execution, and there is nothing in between. There is no changing the plan, there is no there's no changing the plan. There is no that's it. He's very straightforward, blunt. Whatever he says kind of goes, and if there's any deviation from it, we have way too many questions because you changed the plan. What happened is essentially what we got going on there for him, which we'll pull. I really want to pull more on him and Taylor's dynamic. Yeah. Okay. And then here with the Seven of Wands with her mom, it feels like her mom's on the defensive a lot because her mom showed up as the Seven of Swords and now up as the Seven of Wands. So I do feel for her mom. She's someone who's kind of always been a little bit more in the back end or on the back foot of things. So I think her mom has also gotten, I don't know if her mom's like gets criticized often or if there's people who are kind of just coming for her, or if there's people just like this just don't agree with her. Because it's like the mom is very much like someone who I think has a lot of questions raised on her decisions, on what she's doing, how she's doing. Nitpicked is a great word, I think, for her. It's like everything her mom does gets like scrutinized to the nth degree. And I forget if I remember correctly, isn't her mom and her dad getting back together, or did they get remarried because they divorced and now they're getting back together or something and or other? And I wonder if there are people who are like questioning that decision, or if like the mom is like, oh, what the heck? Like, what do you mean? Like, why not? Like, this is, oh, isn't her mom, is her dad's name Scott? I'm not sure. But that's like a name that just kind of popped into my head. It's like Scott would never, or Scott this, or Scott that. But like, that's what it's feeling like here with like the Seven of Wands. It's like she's getting nitpicked quite a bit. In different aspects of like questioning her decision of why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why isn't this like this? Or that like that? So it's like stupid things too. Like why did you put the ice on the left side of the fridge and not the left side of the shelf instead of the right side of the shelf? It's like that sort of nitpicky things is what it feels like. With Taylor here, this is the Princess of Pentacles. So she's showing up as the Princess of Pentacles. So it's like, this is the family dynamic. Remember, this isn't like career or anything. This is the family dynamic currently. So with that, also the mom's the only one with the upright card here. Oh boy. So with Taylor showing up as the Princess of Pentacles, she is still seen as the little girl in the family. I don't know if she's the youngest. I don't know. I forgot. I didn't look it up. But like seeing the Princess of Pentacles here, it's very much along the lines of she's the baby of the family. She's the youngest one. It feels like within the family unit, she's the one that needs to be taken care of all the time because she doesn't know any better. She doesn't have the resources. Like, this is like, oh, Taylor got a flat, like, it's like if she's like 30 years old and she's driving down, yeah, isn't she like 33? And like she's driving down the highway and then she gets like a flat tire and then she's like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. So she calls like mom or dad and she's like, Mom, Dad, what do I do? And they're like, okay, we're going to call you a tow truck, or we're going to call you AAA and we're going to get you someone out there to take care of your tire for you, or I'll be out there to take care of your tire for you. And it's like, she's babied is essentially the word I'm kind of looking for here. It's like she's babied. Like everything that, like any minor inconvenience that she has, like her parents or someone will step up and do for her. Like it's like the independence gene or independence type of, yeah, it's like the independence that kids and teenagers and now adults are kind of taught to get, like, she doesn't have, like, she's babied. She's babied to, like, the nth degree, where anything goes wrong, she calls mom or dad, and they take care of it for her, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting within this family dynamic. Okay. And then with her brother, we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So I don't know if he's like, so the Ace of Pentacles in this deck is not typically about money. The Ace of Pentacles in this deck is typically kind of about the loss of resources, and I'm getting like a home for some reason here. So I don't know if like her brother just lost a home or a business, or like something just went under that like he was trying to put together like on his own dime. Because what this feels like here is like he had some money and then he lost it in like a bad investment or a bad dealing, or even just like, I don't know, I'm getting a sense here within like the family dynamic, he's viewed as the wasted resource. I hate saying that. And remember that this is just what I'm picking up, my opinions here, but like it feels like he's the wasted resource. He's the wasted one. We wasted money or resources or things on him and just nothing's turned out. What it feels like. It's like we put all this money, we've invested all this time, we've invested all this stuff into him, and it's just nothing's panning out. It's a money pit, essentially, is what this kind of feels like. It's like nothing's successful, there's nothing to show, and I'm not saying that like he isn't. I don't know his story here, but like it just feels like in comparison with his sister who they baby, he doesn't do anything. Like, oh my goodness, like apparently we need to, it almost feels like maybe we need to micromanage your life too so you can be successful, because you've shown you can't. Alleged entertainment purposes only. So that's what I'm feeling for their family dynamics here. Interesting. I want to look more specifically between Taylor and her dad. And then I also want to pull a card for Travis in this family dynamic as well, and see what everyone feel. Yeah, I want to pull, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull a card for Taylor's dad. We're going to pull a card for Taylor, and then we're going to pull a card for, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do Taylor, her dad, energy in between. Then we're going to pull Taylor, Travis, energy in between. Then we're going to pull energy in between Travis and dad, Travis and brother, Travis and mom. Because I'm curious on what everyone thinks about Taylor and Travis in this family dynamic, because this is intriguing to me. And as we look at family dynamics, yes, when it comes to especially uber pop stars, like we get to see that, like, yes, they have the same things. We have the same, people think they're the family disappointment, and it's not a, like, you aren't, just because, and when you're getting compared to like siblings or other people who are like more popular than you, or they're better than you, that doesn't make them better. Even though family members may treat them differently or think more highly of them. It's not the case. Really, it's about, like, as long as you're trying to be true to yourself, like, that's who you are at the end of the day. And if you're going to get pitted against a sibling, like, my advice is really, if you're going to get pitted against a sibling, don't let that, build your own relationship with your sibling. Don't let a parent build that relationship with you and your sibling. Because at the end of the day, when maybe your parents are gone and it's only you and your sibling left, that's all you have left of your family then. You have your sibling. That's who you have left. So building that relationship to what it could be or what it couldn't be, that's really up to you, and try and not let parents come between the two of you and put their own 2 cents into it, because that only leads to heartbreak. Goodness gracious. Okay. So let's take a look at Taylor, her dad. We have Taylor, the star. Awesome. Also, if you see my little paper things here, it's because there's nudity on these cards. And YouTube doesn't like nudity. So we have paper strips to cover up the private areas that are showcased on cards because we can't be adults. So, okay, so we have the star showing up as Taylor. Not shocked. She's a giant ass super pop star, mega world billionaire galore. So, not shocked. Her dad, the Six of Wands, he's like, I made that. I did that. I did that. So he's super proud of the accomplishments that Taylor has achieved. Super proud. He's like, I almost feel like her achievements he feels like are his achievements. Not shocked. But, and then we'll put the energy in between, the Queen of Cups. Oh no, Taylor. So once again, Taylor showing up as that super uber pop star, dad, Six of Wands upright. So it feels like, yes, Taylor's accomplishments feel like his accomplishments. However, their relationship is one of all alleged for entertainment purposes only. My opinions. Emotional neglect. In my opinion here. And I'm going to start getting angry because I don't like it when parents don't essentially give the love and support that is needed to their children. My opinion. Not everyone shares it. I wish more people did. But, okay. But seeing here with that Queen of Cups in between the two of them, it does feel that it is it's a business transaction between Taylor and her dad. It's all business. There's no familial love. There's just no emotions to it. It's all very cut and dry, black and white. I just want to talk about the facts and like your emotional needs. What are those? My opinions. And you know what? I've had similar relations with male figures in my life where I've done, like, I do different things. Like, I have a successful job. I do this accomplishment. I do that accomplishment. And then it's like, I go and I tell my parent, like I've told people about this, whether that's my parents or family members or others in my life, and they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then they go and they talk about all these accomplishments that you've done because you've told them about them. And it's like, you keep bragging it up, and it's like, you're so proud of them. However, in the moment when you're telling them about this, because it's like now they're saying like your accomplishments are theirs in a sense, but it's like, they never say, I'm proud of you. Or they're like, oh my goodness, that's so awesome. Like, I can't believe it. Like, we're so proud of you for doing that. Like, you're doing amazing. Like, what can we do to help? Like, what can we do to help? Or even along the lines of, we care so much about you. And like, what we see happening with you, like, you smile more. You're giggly. Like, we truly see that you're happy and we support you in those endeavors that you're going for. And that's what it feels like here is missing, in the sense of Taylor has an emotionally distant father figure who uses her accomplishments as his own, and how he expresses how he feels is just by, oh my goodness, my daughter just did this, and that's it. But it's like all about him at the end of the day, and it's not about Taylor at the end of the day. He's like, oh, it's not like, oh, I'm proud of my baby. No, it's, I'm proud that Taylor did this. Or not even proud. It's like, oh my goodness, did you hear what Taylor did? And it's like, you know how you have like the mom or the dad who kind of lives vicariously through their children, and like their children's accomplishments are their accomplishments because they raised them. Like, oh my goodness, my boy Jimmy, he's the superstar of the football team, and he gets that all from me because I taught him everything that he knows, and he lives vicariously through them. because it's like, oh my goodness, did you see that pass that he had the other day? And like that's all that like that person talks about. Like that's the vibe I'm getting between Taylor and her dad. However, they never say that they're proud. It's only pushing to do more, pushing them to do better, pushing them, pushing to do more, be better, and like that's the relationship. And it makes me just really sad because it's something that I know I've personally been like, I just want to hear my parental figure say, I'm proud of you and we support you in what you're doing. And you know what? At the end of the day, like you can fail, you can succeed. We still love it. We still love you no matter what. And that's something that sometimes you don't hear, but like is implied. But like I don't think it's even implied in Taylor's case. And it's definitely not said. And it hurts me because I think it's something that like she's looking for, in my opinion. It's something that I think all of us look for when it comes to parental figures or people that we look up to or mentors. It's like we just want to be told that we're doing a good job and that yes, we have some improvements to make, but we love and support you in those decisions and in your successes and your failures. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling there between Taylor and her dad. Makes me really sad. And I'm going to pull and see how that affects Taylor and her relationship's been run, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, so next I want to look at Travis. Travis? It's the sun. Aww. I like that. I like that a lot. So Travis is definitely a beam of light within this family dynamic, it feels like. He's a beam of light, and he's definitely different from the rest of the Swift family. He has a different perspective, a different take. He's a lot more positive within this family unit and brings up really positive energy, it feels like, within this family unit. I've seen a few of the podcast episodes with him and his brother and them growing up, and just the different vibe it feels like he had with his parents and his brother versus the Swift family, which feels a little bit more dysfunctional in some ways. So this is really, it feels like Travis is a breath of fresh air that I think is desperately needed in this family unit, to just be different and to just express, and also I think more emotionally expressive and saying, oh, I'm proud of you, or being an example for others to be like, oh, I'm proud of you. Oh, you might not have done, okay, so you might have like, so this might have gone wrong, but you know what? You've made it through to the other side, and now we have a different perspective to look at things from. That's what I feel like Travis is. He's a breath of fresh air to look at things in a more positive light than in, say, a more critical or harsh light. Okay, so let's see what Travis and Mr. Swift, what the dynamic between these two are. Nine of Pentacles. Mr. Swift, I think, really likes Travis, or he sees Travis as someone who's self-made, isn't writing self-made, but also a little bit more oriented in himself. I think Mr. Swift sees Travis as someone who is a master of his craft, has a very independent look that he has set for himself, well established, and I think Mr. Swift sees Travis as someone who has a pretty good head on his shoulders for the most part with this Nine of Pentacles dynamic. So actually kind of shocked to see that a little bit, where it feels like Mr. Swift definitely has a very totalitarian type of view on things. Alleged my opinion here. But seeing it here with Travis and Mr. Swift, it definitely seems that it's like, okay, I approve of you because it seems like you have your own career, you got a good head on your shoulders, you have a direction, you're solid, you're stable. There's not a lot of questions, it feels like here, that Mr. Swift needs to answer. It's like, you weren't the artsy fartsy person. You're very straightforward is what this feels like. It's like what I'm seeing is what I'm getting, and I don't need to worry too much about anything external is what this feels like with Travis and Mr. Swift. Okay, so let's take a look at Mom. Well, Seven of Swords, that's what she was showing up as earlier, except upright. So we have Mom, and we're gonna. So she's got some reservations on things within everything kind of going on and the dynamics with everything. It's like she has some reservations or some opinions that it feels like that she's been holding to herself or not speaking out on. Because it's like, I have opinions on things, and it's like, but she holds her tongue. I know some people in my life too, where it's like I have to drag shit out of them to get their opinions or get their thoughts on things. And it's like, just tell me what you think. You don't need to keep holding things in all the time. But I feel like this is a learned behavior from the moms. Like, I have thoughts and opinions, but I'm not going to let you know exactly what they are. Okay. So looking at the dynamic between these two. So Mom and Travis. So Mom, when it comes to Travis, I feel like I don't think she likes him. Where Dad's like, yeah, he's a really good fit. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Mom sees him a little bit. Mom sees him as a user, is what this kind of feels like. Sees him as a user, or she sees him as like, you're just using Taylor. She doesn't like Travis. Is kind of my vibe here. She doesn't like Travis in the sense of she's like, he's using you. Like Travis is using Taylor for fame, or like you seem to just be using money or taking money from Taylor. Like, I don't think this is true love. Like, this just feels like a fake thing. There's no nurturing. There's no stability, there's no groundedness, which is really interesting considering Dad's like, this is the perfect guy. However, I feel like it's like the perfect guy to continue with whatever lifestyle that she's got going on. Mom's like, this isn't the right guy. This isn't the person who's going to nurture you and help you and keep you together and keep you grounded through your life. Like, she doesn't see that at all. She doesn't like him. That's my personal opinion. Okay, let's get Taylor's brother, the magician. Oh, so Taylor's brother says one thing and does another. This is going to be spicy. Okay, so for Taylor's brother, showing him as the magician reversed. Magician reversed for me is always my smooth operator. Used car salesman will tell you whatever you want to hear to make you feel good at the end of the day, right? So I don't think the brother's telling the entire truth on how he feels either. Him and Mom are on a pretty similar page, it feels like. Especially with the magician, it's like, I don't know how I feel about this. But you know what, Taylor, just to make you feel better, like, this is what I'll say. Like, I'll say this to have you not freak out. So let's just take a look at the dynamic between Taylor's brother and Travis. Ace of Wands. Whoa. So, how do I want to say this? So Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands can be a penis card. It can also just be the card of just like new ideas, focusing on things. So I feel like Travis and her brother, they get along. They have a lot of great ideas together. I think they vibe off of one another really well. However, I think a lot of it's a facade, at least from the brother's end, because it feels like there's hidden intentions with like ways that they're speaking to each other, or like hidden flirtations, or it's like the true intentions between Taylor's brother and Travis are they're on the down low. They're on the subliminal messaging type of vibe. And I don't know what or who's it or what's it that might be, but that's something I'm seeing pretty loud and clear. Okay, and then now let's just take a look between Taylor and Travis within this whole family dynamic. We have the Prince of Cups. He does not emotionally, once again, they don't emotionally fulfill each other in this reading. Like with the Prince of Cups reverse, like upright, it would be really good to see because like they have a great healthy emotional bond. Here though, it's like with it reverse, it's like manipulation, deception, the emotions, the emotional bond that they have together, especially in relation with this family dynamic, is seen strained. It's not healthy. People don't like it. Like I said, mom doesn't like him. Mom, I don't think likes Travis at all because Travis is extremely different from this family dynamic. Brother, aka alleged entertainment purpose only, might just be attracted to him. I don't know. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Subliminal messaging to the wazoos. That's what I got. That's what I'm going with. And Dad just sees him as a great financial decision to be stable in the future. So that's what I'm feeling here with this family dynamic. And Taylor, listen to mom. Mom doesn't like him. Talk to your brother, well, maybe not talk to your brother. Talk to your mom. Mom doesn't like him. And she has good reasons to not like him. And I think it would be super helpful for her to read to do that, because this whole family is man, there's people over here who aren't saying what they want to say. We have someone over here who's trying to take everyone's accomplishments for themselves, and then we have Taylor up here who's like, I'm the star. I'm the person who's trying to keep everything together. So, and then there's Travis who's kind of be like, I'm just trying to be happy and smile a lot, and I don't know what's going on because everything's really, 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 really weird. So that's what I'm feeling here for this family dynamic in relation with how everyone feels kind of about Travis. All right. Okay. And then just a reminder as I'm picking things up, if you guys enjoy this or want to see more readings like this, feel free to like this video and or subscribe to the channel, as I have a couple other Taylor Swift readings, celebrity readings, and other things. So go check that out. Otherwise, and if you want to subscribe and see more content like this, I'll probably have coming out this and so. All right. Next question. Now that we've gotten through this whole family dynamic, what everyone thinks of Travis, this, that, and the other thing, my next big question is, I want to see, why did Taylor want to get into music? And what was her big passions here? What can we kind of pick out? And I'm already hearing, like, music is my outlet. From pain comes art. Or from pain comes gain in art. Okay, so that's just like the initial things here. So like, and I know so a couple things about me. So I was a big band nerd. I don't do singing or writing music in any way, shape, or form, but I really do. I love playing instruments. So, and I know when I played music or played on my instrument, like, it was really relieving. It was like I was a part of a group. I was able to do something. I was able to express myself, whether I was loud or obnoxious or just sight reading something. There was always something new or things that I was doing, and it was just an expression. So just hearing through my pain, I was able to gain and express myself. Like, that's beautiful, and I completely understand it. So let's just see what's going on with, like, why did Taylor want to get into music so much? And maybe she's answered this in interviews, but I have not watched those. So let's just take a look here. So we have the Hermit challenge and additional information. So for Taylor, why she got into music or really got into this passion, it feels like she was, in my opinion here, pretty lonely. The Hermit's all about kind of introspection, being alone, isolation, and it feels like she spent a lot of time alone, a lot of time with herself, introspection, with her pain, with her hurt, especially here with the Seven of Cups, which is in this card one of you're looking at it's like there's all these things that I could have done or all these things that should have or could have or would have happened or something along those lines. And how her music evolved, it feels like, is I'm upset, I'm hurt, I need to express my emotions in some way, shape, or form. I can't yell or scream or go to it feels like I couldn't go to people to talk about my emotions or express them because they didn't have time or things just weren't like that, just wasn't something I felt comfortable doing with family members or people that I cared about or guardians in some way, shape, or form. So instead of being able to express that maybe verbally, I think she did a lot of introspection and a lot of writing things down. Things that hurt her, or things that she wished could have happened, or things that did happen. It's like those things, like I can't talk about them anymore, or there's no direct influences, but they still hurt. And so it feels like I'm reminiscing over things that have happened to me, or things that like I just don't know how to express verbally because I haven't been, because like either I don't have that it's like I don't have that, I'm not able to do that. So in my introspection, in my time, I'm able to now write that down, and now that's what I can share with the world, because that's what I'm able, because that's how I can do it, because that's essentially the only option available to me is what this feels like in this situation. So it makes me a little sad that she didn't, because it feels like she had a lot of difficulties when it came to growing up. And as she's growing up, she didn't have a lot of people to talk to, or people that it feels like supported her in like with her emotions, in helping her process them clearly. So for those of you out there who might be like, oh, that's kind of like me, or well, that's not how I turned out, uh, I just want you to, everyone copes in different ways. Everyone, when you have external circumstances where you might not be able to express yourself how you want to, you're going to find ways of which to do it. So I had a friend back in high school who was very much middle of nowhere high school, like super uber conservative. We probably had more farms and more cows in in the surroundings of the town than actual people. So I mean, heck, we had 9,999 little friendly goats down the road from us, and I'm like, that's more people than in the town. So I get it. So like going with, it's like my one friend, they were like, some would say like emo or goth or something along those lines, in an uber conservative town. So they were there, they expressed themselves in some way, shape, or form. However, that wasn't who they truly were. Once they got out of our small middle of nowhere ass town, then they really started to flourish. They got more piercings and tattoos, and they wore their makeup differently. Another example of this would be, I had a friend who didn't come out as gay until he left the small town or high school. However, he kind of always knew. So it's stuff like that where it feels like, in Taylor's perspective here, it's like I wasn't able to express myself. So why I got into music is because this was the outlet of which I could express myself, because in the other ways, I was either not being acknowledged or I was being essentially left to my own devices. So that's what it kind of feels like here, of why Taylor really got started within her career into music and songwriting and doing that sort of thing. So, okay. I'm just grabbing my notes because I wrote quite a bit of what I wanted to do here with Miss Taylor. Like, because when I said deep dive, I mean deep dive. Okay, so next I want to look at her career, like how she, like one, I think we see how she got into music. Next, I want to see looking at like kind of her, how has she looked at her career in the beginning, middle, and to current. And then I kind of want to do, and then we're going to kind of look at a little bit more of what's going to be coming up here in 2024. So I wanted to see, like, through Taylor's essentially different eras, like, how has she really felt about her career? Like, because when we look at Taylor, we see a woman who's like boss babe. She's boss babe. She's come in, she's set out what she's wanted, and she's really grown her career into something that's just massive, right? Like, she's put her career above all else. Like, she's like, that was her big drive, her big strive, her big ambitions throughout her 20s, 16 through her entire 20s, now in her early 30s. Like she's like that career woman, right? And so I want to kind of just see what were her kind of feelings as she was kind of growing up with her career here. I want to start with like her early careers, like when she was in country. So like we have country, and then I think she went into pop, country, pop. Then we went into, oh boy, y'all are gonna get so mad at me because I don't remember all the eras. But like with her country era, her pop era, I think she had her like folklore type of era. Then we had her Reputation bad girl era. Y'all are gonna flame me in the comments, and I'm so sorry. Her like bad girl era, and then we have, we're gonna do like the later, more artsy fartsy, newest, latest folklore stuff. No, I think it's indie, and then I want to go with current, her current era, which is kind of does a little bit of everything. So, okay. I hope I remember what I just said. Okay, so for her in like the beginning of her career and how she was looking at things, she's the moon reverse. So there's some anxiety and worries of just not knowing what she was doing, especially in her country era. Because it's like, I'm getting into it. I don't 100% know everything that's going on. It's a lot of anxiety. It's just a lot of worry. I'm just like, I just don't know anything. So she's just getting into things. People are coming up to her. People are talking to her. She's networking, getting into things, trying different things out. We're learning studios. We're learning albums. So it's a great learning time for her. However, it's a nerve-wracking time for her just because she doesn't know anything, especially in those early years when it comes to her career. I'm almost I'm even like on the fence of like, I wonder if she was contemplating like after her first 2 albums if she even wanted to continue in the music career, because it's like it almost feels like I don't know if I'm ready for that next step or what I want to do next, because it feels like she was really on the fence with things. So that's kind of her early career. Going into like her pop era, I can't remember the albums. I'm so sorry. But it's the 9 of Cups. It's like, here she comes in and it sounds like, okay, my albums are starting to sell really, really well. Albums are starting to sell really well. And then albums starting to sell well. I'm feeling comfortable. Like, I'm in a really good spot. I'm comfortable with the music I'm making. I'm happy with my producers. Like, I've made it. I'm feeling really, really like I've accomplished something. I think this is like her early 20s, mid 20s. So like, she's accomplished things. She's got a lot of good albums out. People are really liking her stuff. Like, she's really transformed herself from like that country era into this pop era where she feels really proud of what she's putting out. And I think she's really happy within the sector that she's in. Okay, and now I'm gonna go check on this next era so I don't completely get flamed. All right, I'm back. So we had her country, we have her pop. Then we're gonna go into her. I think I said folklore, villain. I don't know. I think it's her next little era here, which is, I'm gonna go with her villain era. Just check this too, and But yeah, seeing it within this like this next phase of her, we have with the Empress, aka the Lady reversed. It's definitely a time where she was bucking back on stereotypes, I think, of her, of like people are saying, oh, you need to do this, oh, you need to do that. In terms of like, oh, you should have a family, oh, you should get married, oh, you need, like, what do you mean you're putting your career above other people? But this feels like I'm bucking those societal expectations of me to be a superstar, is what this kind of feels like. It's like, I'm not going to be your mom figure. I'm not going to be your bad, I'm not going to be like your wholesome figure here. It's like, I'm going to be who I am, and I'm not going to fall to what everyone else says I should be doing. Okay. Going into, I'm going to say this is the folklore era. Yeah, folklore era. With the Princess of Swords here. It's like, I feel like her folklore era, because this is what this feels like more of, is this is like her truly being really happy with the type of music that she was producing. Has a lot of good music. She was really happy with what she was presenting and putting out there. She liked the sound. She liked the lyrics that she put together. Like, this is her at the core, I think, of her music. This is who she truly, really, like, this is the type of music she really, really, really likes to produce, make, and this is the sound that I think feels the most authentic to her in the grand scheme of everything that she's kind of put out and produced. Like, this is her, one, at her happiest, and two, I think, at her truest expression of self. So, okay, going into this next era, which I think is her, not reputation. I know you guys are gonna get so mad at me because I don't know this, but I think this is like her latest era. So I would say like 2001-ish era, and it's like she chose a direction and now she's kind of got stuck in it. Is what this kind of feels like. Because with the Two of Swords reversed, it's like, yep, I have a decision that was made for me. I don't want to go down this path, but it's being made for me and I need to go down it. So with that Two of Swords, it's very much like, I made a decision I can't come back from. I have things that I'm doing that I really don't want to do. However, this is kind of where music is pushing me. This is where the industry is pushing me. This is where I'm pushing myself, because it's like the type of music that I would like to make is somehow not accepted, or like if I'm not, maybe this is like after her breakup with Joe, but it's like that type of music that I was really happy and like I felt like was my sound, my vibe, who I truly am as an artist. It's like I can't do that right now because there's like too much hurt or too much emotion or too much feelings associated with it that just hurts too much. So like I have to go down to a completely different decision or different path to kind of make it work, is what this kind of feels like. It's like I don't feel like I can continue. All right, and then we have our newest era, Nine of Swords, which is all about anxiety, worry. I don't think and this is probably very much to her Tortured Poets Department album on this era, which is like kind of like, this is my bad bitch era. I don't care. I'm going after everyone. And really, it's caused her a lot of anxiety. I don't think like this era where she's in her career, I think worries her greatly, because I don't think she knows where she is or who she is or what she stands for. Because yes, we had this era where it's like, this is who I am, I love this vibe, I love this thing, but then I had to go away from it, and now it's like I can't go back to it. And it's like I have all these things coming at me, I've grown really big, there are people after me, there are people doing this, like I can't do that, they won't be happy with this. It's like there's a lot of worries, there's a lot of anxieties, there's a lot of just not feeling confident within herself and what she's been producing or putting out, because there's a lot, just like people are, it's like she's burnt out as well. It's like, I'm burnt out, I don't know what else to produce, I don't know which way to go, because like we've been using AI trends, they've probably been, because like in this early sector it feels like I'm just going with the flow of what my intuition says, or what's the vibe that I want to put out next. She very much had a lot more control over where she was kind of going. And then now it feels like within these last two eras, or sections of her life with her career, it's like instead of her just going with the flow of what she's wanted to do, it feels more along the lines of I've been using AI, I've been using data, I've been using a lot of artificial technology to help dictate, or I should say, using a lot of numbers and data driven analytics to dictate the type of music I'm making. And it's not coming from the heart anymore, it's coming from the head. And where she's done the best in connecting her sound and her music and her vibe has all been from her heart. And it feels like her heart's kind of closed off right now, and she's unable to kind of let her intuition and her heart speak the type of music that she wants out, because there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of hurt, and we've just been letting essentially digital stuff kind of dictate where we're going in that shape, form, and or manner. Okay, so next I want to see what's kind of next here for Miss Taylor in 2024, like kind of what's kind of coming in for her career. So, and I apologize if I got it wrong and I was off in things like that. I'm super confused and I could not find a good timeline for what is all the eras. So maybe we'll blame that on like Bing search. You can do that. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at what's coming up here for the rest of 2024 for Taylor. And what does her career say here for the rest of 2024? All right. So for the rest of 2024, we have the King of Pentacles. She's still making quite a bit of money here for the rest of 2024. She's doing pretty good for herself. King of Pentacles, this is a person who's very sure of themselves, has lots of, especially when it comes to directly her career, making money, very successful in her career. However, what I'm getting drawn to though is this fire in the background. So I do feel that yes, she's sitting on her throne. Yes, she's made her money. Yes, she's done. However, she's got a shitstorm behind her that she's just not acknowledging at all. Because it's like, you know how I'm just seeing the meme of the kid, and then there's the fire in the background, the house on fire in the background, and it's just like this kid smiling. Like, that's what I'm seeing in my head. Like, that's the meme that I'm getting from this. Is like, everything's okay. I'm doing fine. Everything behind me is not, but we're doing fine. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here with Taylor and the King of Pentacles. It's like, she's doing okay, but everything kind of around her is in chaos. Direct influences on here with her. So she has the High Priest, aka the Hierophant upright, as direct influences. I see this as the industry as a whole. So the industry as a whole, at least her industry, is doing well. However, they are also, I think, what is in the flames behind her. I think the industry around her is going up in flames. When I mean going up in flames, I mean it's going to be in a utter chaos here within the rest of 2024. Like, I know with everything with Diddy, and then there's stuff going on, I think, with like just other producers and music companies, and what is it? I think her original label pulled all of her songs from like TikTok and stuff like that. So like, there's a giant shift within the market, and like there's a lot of stuff going down in the industry, the music industry as a whole, that's kind of leaving everything in flames around her, but she's kind of just sitting on her pile of money. She's sitting on her pile of money, kind of just letting the fire burn through everything around her, because like it can't touch her. And then we're kind of waiting to see what's last standing. Okay, financial influences. Yeah, because she's been cooking her books. Very, very well. She's got a pretty good diversity of portfolio for her money. very studious in what she's been accomplishing. What's the money that where has she been spending? Where is she investing? I don't think she's going, like, in her career, she's been putting in lots of time and effort to figure out what she can do to kind of minimize the effects of essentially what it feels like is these flames going on in the industry from affecting her and her money at the end of the day. I don't know if she's going to be expanding her money. It doesn't feel like she's expanding it. However, it does feel that she's maintaining her money and her growth and her success in that way. Hopes and fears. Here's the Queen of Pentacles. So the hope here is that we're able to not just maintain maintain the finances. A lot of pentacle cards here. But also I think it's, she's able to maintain her money, keep everything where it needs to be. We have a very good holistic view of resources that we have on hand, as well as she's not seen as this king. I think she wants to be seen as more of this giving type of person, who's going to give back. And which is why if I remember correctly, like last year they had a thing where like Taylor Swift's, because of her Eras tour, it made so much money and it actually kept the United States out of a recession because that's how much money it was making. So, like, I think she wants to be seen as that type of person where her tours, what she's doing is beneficial and is giving back to the population at large. I would say just make sure you get all your taxes paid, please and thank you, and just pay some taxes. We would love it as a billionaire. Just pay your taxes. That's all we as a society really hope for. Question mark, allegedly, please, 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 please. So that's what I'm seeing here for her as the Queen of Pentacles. She just wants to be seen as this person who's like, I'm benefiting. Like, my money isn't just being held for me, but it's also benefiting the communities and people at large around her. All right. Unseen obstacles is the Magician. So I do see someone coming in around her that has some things to say. And when it comes to her career, I think wants to say something bad about her and her career and what she's moving to or what she hasn't moved to. So I do see that coming up. This could be an industry person that's like, well, why isn't Taylor Swift saying anything or standing up for this, or where is her money going? It's like there feels like some accusations and there is some truth behind them. So don't dismiss it because there's probably truth behind it, and we should always be holding people accountable for misdeeds that they have done, that they have proven to not learn from or accept. Or like when people do bad things, make sure that people know about them. However, if they have moved on, if they have acknowledged that they did the bad thing, they have worked to improve to not do the bad thing again, and have apologized and have done efforts to not do it again, or help in ways that help alleviate that major problem that they did. Like, you don't need to keep bringing it up and up and up again and again and again and again and again and again until when there's proven behavior of change. Okay. Rant over. I just have some issues with that one. So, okay. All right. So, challenges for her. The Fool. This is her getting back into her mojo. And that is, I think, listening to her heart to put her music back out again and following her heart, not her head. Because like I said before, when it came to looking at, as she's producing new music and getting into things, I do feel that there is a disconnect between her heart and her head in figuring out what is her next move within the industry. What is her next move as we continue to do things? Like, what is her next move? Like, what's the next type of music she wants to produce? Is she going to be focusing more on her career? Is she going to be focusing more on her personal life? Like, the challenge is, I think, following her heart in not just her music, but also within her personal life. And like, what should I be addressing next? What are things that I should be looking at? And instead of maybe taking some signs, I mean, I do it too, where We have people out there who are like, they can essentially, with universe, be like, a little spiritual here, but like, you can be told time and time and time again, like, this isn't good for you, but you keep going back. And then it takes like that one really, really bad thing to be like, well, shit, they were right. I was wrong. I got to change this now. But you've been told 20 times, but all it took was maybe the 21st time by someone completely different, and it had to be by you to figure it out, not someone telling you that this is the wrong thing or the right thing. So, what it feels here for Taylor is the challenge is, it feels like the universe is like, you have things you need to work on, you have things you need to heal from. And instead of healing from things, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I'm a workaholic where instead of dealing with my emotions, I just put everything into work. Uh, it's very much along the lines of, pretty soon we're going to kind of force you to have to work on your personal life, because you can only do so much with your career. And what it feels like here is that, like, we're trying to do it the easy way right now. However, you aren't listening, so we might have to push you farther. And I don't know if you want to be pushed farther. Okay, so what is going for her? She's a very solid base of people that love her, follow her, especially with the Four of Wands here, which is a home and family card. Also about celebrations, marriage, family. So, like I said, I do feel that she has a really solid fan base around her. Do I feel this is a marriage between her and Travis? No. But do I feel that this is like her having a solid fan base, a solid group of people that support her and will listen to her music and are seeing her grow and thrive and want to, and like, I want to be a part of that process? Yes. So that's really good for her. She has a really good, solid fan base of people who like her and follow her. In the past, heartbreak. So not shocked to see this card here. So in the past with her, like, career here, like I said, she has wounds that she needs to work on, whether, and that some of those are familial, some of those are in romantic relationships, some of those are in friendships, and that's, I think, a big theme for her throughout the rest of 2024. Is that's going to be some themes that are gonna keep popping up and reoccurring for her, to heal from, instead of maybe just focusing completely on work. So, and then here in the future, we have the Five of Swords. So, I do feel that I do feel that she might be stepping on some people and their albums, and yeah, it's like she's stepping on other people to kind of get ahead. And it's like, okay, so you got ahead, but now what? You're already on top. Where else can you go? And now that she's on the top, it's like, oh, I don't know what else to do. So just seeing this here for Taylor, it's very much along the lines of, okay, so for the rest of your 2024, it's like, you've made it to the top and you're staying on the top and you're maintaining the top, but what's up there? I just see King of the Hill, not the animated show, but like, remember you would play like the game of King of the Hill, and there would be one person who's like at the top of the hill, and it's like, but they're up there all by themselves, and you keep kind of pushing people down to keep others from reaching the top, because like, you're up there, but you're up there all alone. You made it there all alone. So what's there, like, if there's no one there to celebrate it with you, are you happy being alone? And that you've made it to the top there all by yourself, by your own merits, by this, by that. But if you have no one to celebrate it with, that's a very lonely, lonely existence. So, and that's where I'm kind of seeing it. It's like, Taylor, you've made it to the top. You don't need to maintain at the top, though, because sometimes you got to come down so you can talk to other people and heal relationships and heal ways that you've maybe hurt others. And, it's not that bad to let other people have the limelight every once in a while, too, because then people aren't looking at you all the time, and you can work on other things and then come out on top again. You don't need to be, not everything needs to be, you don't need to be the best or be on the top to do everything. Another example of this is, so say you are in your career, and I know people are going to probably get mad at me for this, but say you're in your career and you're like, I want to focus on my career and do this and do that and be the self-made person and the self-made woman, and and I want to have the home, I want to have the family, I want to have I want to have, it's like, I want to be like, your top priority has been your career. Say that. And it's like, you haven't dated anyone, you really, like, you take care of yourself, you made yourself a priority, which is good, and you've made your career your priority, and like you've done a lot of things on yourself to self improve. And people are gonna get so mad at me at this, but but at the same time, it's like, okay, so you've done so you focused essentially your entire career, like you focus your life on your career, and what's the other? So yeah, you focus your life on your career. You've shunned your friends. You have maybe some family members, and you didn't take a partner, or you didn't share your life with anyone. You kind of went to work, did what you needed to do, got on top to do what you needed to do, right? And now that you're on the top, you're all alone. You have your career, but now that you've made it, now you look around and be like, oh, I don't have anyone to celebrate my promotion with. I actually have time now. What do I do with my time? Oh, I don't have friends to spend it with. Oh, my family? Oh, well, they're kind of getting older and they can't really travel as much as they used to. So it's kind of like that. I mean, I have a personal example of that where it's like, I've done a ton of, like, the majority of my 20s has been about work, and more work. And that's it. It's been almost completely work. I had a period where I spent some times with friends, and then, yeah, and that's it. So I feel this is like, you get into a hyper productive state of like work and more work and more work. Cause it's like, you want to keep going and you want to keep doing and you want to keep doing this. And it's like, you want to be the best that you can be, because having stability, having a foundation, having money, having this, having the home, having the car, having all these resources around you, but yet you don't have anyone around it to share it with at the end of the day. And as we do it, but I know for me, like, as I continue to grow up things and do work all the time, it's like, okay, yeah, I have a great career. I've had a lot of accolades. I've had a lot of success, and I've done really good things. However, am I spending time on myself? Do I like myself? And that's greatly improved. But I'll say there's not, every day there might be something that I don't like about myself, but you know what? I'm actively working to improve it. Same thing with everyone else. Like, if there's something about you that you might not like, but it's like, I can't work on that piece right now, maybe there's a different piece that you can work on to be like, okay, maybe I don't like this about myself. Maybe for example for me is like, hey, I don't like how much I weigh. Okay. And it's like, okay, so what can I actively do to help that? Well, I can change my diet. Maybe I don't have the time to go out and exercise all the time, but you know what? I can eat healthier foods that are less calories but fill me up more. So I'll eat less, have better nutrition, and you know what? That's really good and a great step forward for me to improve my life. And that's just one example here. So that's what I'm kind of feeling here for Taylor and the rest of 2024. And hopefully that kind of helps maybe you guys connect a little bit too, where it's like, at the end of the day, who are we? Who are the people that we surround ourselves with? And what are the connections that we have with people, and not just the connections that we have with ourselves? All right. So next, this video is going to be really long. But I said deep dive, so I did a deep dive. All right, so we're going to do one more question here. I'm just going to open up my notes, and then we will end the reading. All right, come on. Okay. So the last thing I want to look at is Taylor's relationship jumping. And yeah, so we've known Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has had quite a number of relationships over her career and over her time as a public figure. So what I wanted to look at is kind of like what is, and this is kind of going back to that dynamic with her and her dad and other things, but I wanted to see what is kind of what's this dynamic? Why are we jumping from relationship to relationship as much as she does? Because, honey, and maybe people out there who have done this, maybe you can have your own, if you would like to share your own experiences in the comments below, you can. But I will say personally, I don't have this type of experience where I've done jumping from relationship to relationship. Mine's more of the opposite of that, where it's like I have maybe just a relationship and kind of going from there. So, and then not being able to jump because there's nothing to jump to. So, let's just take a look here at the relationship jumping and just let's get a general 3-card, what's kind of going on here with it. So, because like I have a couple friends who jump from relationship to relationship and don't spend a lot of time alone. So I just want to, and I've talked to them a little bit about it, but for each person it seems like it's a little bit different. So let's take a look. So we have the Prince of Pentacles, aka the Knight of Pentacles reversed as the general energy. The challenge is the Hermit, and then the there we go. We had some TT showing. All right, because some people, whatever you do. Okay, so looking here at the relationship jumping to jumping. So the general energy here is this Prince of Pentacles. So it's like we jump from relationship to relationship because like we don't even give it a chance to start. Is what this feels like. It's like the Prince of Pentacles, when it's upright, is typically like long-term steady growth and success. Seeing it reversed here in this context, I definitely see it as we don't even give it a chance for a seed to be planted. We kind of go to the next thing before we can even get to know someone. And a big reason, reasons behind this is Serenonus. In this deck, it's the Devil card. So, and seeing it reversed makes me feel we have unhealthy coping mechanisms for dealing with traumas or past things that because like when it comes to relationships, there is an emotional aspect to them. And if you don't even give a chance for emotions to settle or even things to start because of unhealthy coping mechanisms or trauma responses or things that just are negative in nature that just cause us to maybe pick up and leave because we're just like because we don't allow ourselves to get comfortable in uncomfortableness. And then the challenge here is the Hermit reversed, or in the Hermit upright, which is just being alone and being introspective with our thoughts. Because if we're alone, then we have to be alone with our demons, essentially. And being alone with your demons is really hard because they can cause you to either you sink or you swim with them, essentially. Where it's like, are you going to be with them, or are you against them? And being alone with them can be very difficult. So that's what I'm seeing here for this relationship jumping. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but just wanted to put that out there before as a last thing. So Again, if you guys enjoyed this, please hit the like button. If you have any comments for me, leave them down below. And if you want to see other deep dives like this, let me know who else you want me to do a deep dive on. I really enjoyed doing this. If you like this video and you want to see more, I'd highly suggest hitting that subscribe button. I have new content coming out all the time. And yeah, so I just really want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my community post. If you guys want to be involved with the types of readings that I do or ask questions, please follow me there and kind of, because that's where I get a lot of my things. I get suggestions, I get questions, and things that people really want to see. So again, thank you so very much, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.